Here is a square root, an amazing solution with just a simple formula to come up to find y. Now, what is the value of x? In this equation, we see that we've got so many squares. Here we see 1, 2, 3, 4 squares, and x is underneath it. So, not to confuse, we colored four of them different colors so that we can work backward. So we start from the small one, x, and then black one, green, and then we go back to red. That will be the conclusion to come with the answer. Now, if we start with the purple, root x, we take it out here. Root x is equivalent to x to the power of 1 over 2. So if we chuck this back into this root, so we, instead of this, we have x times x to the power of 1 over 2, which is here, x to the power of 1, of course, x means, and times x to the power of 1 over 2. So here we can add 1 plus 1 over 2, so 2 common, 2 times 1 plus 1, which is 3 over 2. So in the formula we get x times 3 over 2. Then when we take it out from here, we put this in a bracket, and this will come out as a half. So x to the power of 3 over 2 times 1 over 2. That goes back to x to the power of 3 over 4. So if we chuck this back into our equation, remembering that this is the black part, it goes into green color. So now we take out the green colors. So x to the power of 3 over 4 times x to the power of 1. This will be equal to x to the power of 7 over 4. Of course, we are adding 1 plus 3 over 4, which is equal to 7 over 4. Remember this formula, which is a to the power of n times a to the power of m, which is equal to a to the power of n plus m. So 1 plus 3 over 4, when we take 4 common, so 4 times 1, 4, plus 3, 7, so it comes to 7 over 4. Now we have got this square as well. When the square come out, of course, this is how we see how the adding is done. When the square come out, it is going to be 1 over 2. So x is the power of 7 over 4, as it is, and then this will come out 1 over 2. So x to the power of 7 over 4 times 1 over 2. So we just multiply directly. Of course, we get x to the power of 7 over 8. Now we chuck this back into the red, the last one, which is the fourth one. So x to the power of 1 times x to the power of 7 over 8. So we do the same, this equation. So a to the power of n times a to the power of m is equal to a to the power of n plus m. So we have 1 plus 7 over 8, which is 8 common. 8 times 1 is 8 plus 7 is going to be 15 over 8. So, and then we have to, of course, it is still on the square. The next thing we do is we have to take this square out of the square root, which is 1 over 2. So we multiply it by 1 over 2 here. So 15 over 8 times 1 over 2 is going to be 15 over 16. So that is the answer we get for this part. So what do we do next is we have to equate it with the number 4. That's what the answer was. So to get the x value, we have to crisscross this part, multiply it by the opposite just to get 1. So 15 over 16 times 16 over 15. So these two would cross out. Of course, we do the same on the opposite side. So what we done is we just add this portion of the equation on the top, so it does not make much difference. So when we do that, as 16, 16, 15, 15, this cancels out, so x stays as it is. So x is equal to 4 the power of 16 over 15. So that is the answer. Now, to simplify this, if the number of square is n, then I might have come up with a new formula. I don't know whether it is there somewhere on the things, but when I was trying to do things, so this has come up. So we can say x is equal to 4 the power of 2 the power of n over 2 the power of n minus 1. So here, in this case, n is the number of squares. So if it is 4, so 2 the power of 4 over 2 the power of 4, we have 16 over 15. That is our solution here. If we try to solve the second part, let's say we've called it y, what would be x in terms of y with a number of squares? So what we have got 7, and we can calculate y. So y, then n is the number of square, which is 7. We can then calculate y as follow. X is equal to y the power of 2 the power of n over 2 the power of n minus 1, which is equal to y 2 the power of n over 2 the power of 7 over 2 the power of 7 minus 1. So we have 2 the power of 7, which is 128 over 128 minus 1, which would be 127. So we find that x is equal to y the power of 1.008. Basically, the more we increase the amount of square, the more we are getting y closer to x. So when the number of square is bigger and going to infinite, then we can say that x is equal to y. What do you think about this? Give us a comment. Let's discuss about it, and if you've seen this somewhere, please let me know. Thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe. To see it in summary, you can look at this part of the equation.